Yeah.
Yes.
At that point, it's present.
Yes, Marcia.
When we were in San Antonio, we went and saw La La Land.
Yeah.
This song is the last 5 minutes of La La Land.
It sure was. Oh,
Tug at your
boy.
heart, what would have happened if I would have done this and if I would have done that?
How many have not seen La La Land?
Really should see that.
No.
You gotta go see it.
Yeah, go see it.
Because that is what this song is about.
Absolutely.
The last 5-10 minutes
The
of La
end
La
of that
Land.
movie is this song.
The whole time the last scene was happening, I was going, to Brenda was going, you know, this is the real part, and all the rest of it was the make-believe.
Don't give it
He's
away.
going,
Don't give it away.
Oh, I think that will clear up the focus of this song.
Yeah.
Really well.
So this is talking, this is a conversation now, yes? So I want you to have that conversation
In fact,
and show how that feels.
yeah, in fact, in the movie, they drifted apart for a very lengthy period of time, and this is when they came back together in their eyes met. And so that is this song, absolutely.
Yeah, it really is.
Entirely. Isn't it, Brent?
Yeah, it is.
Don't give it away.
Don't give it away.
Goes it away.
All right, I want you to tell me the story, as if you were, yeah.
Go see the movie, you gotta see that.
Okay, let's sing, shall we,
You gotta see
please?
the end of it.
So there definitely show a lot of regret in the beginning, please. Show me what it felt like. All right, here we go.
Hey.
It's not terribly sad. Very bittersweet. Asking. That's very endearing. Wow. What a pretty song.
Put some more faith.
Definitely more thinking that time, yes? More of the character, more of what you really wanted to say. It's a lot of regret and sadness, a little bittersweet, and it's okay to express some of the joy in the relationship. But for the most part, your heart, you're just sad that it never worked out the way you had hoped it would. Never is it angry. I don't believe it's
No.
angering. So be mindful of that, especially when you say, I never could tell you I love you. That's don't get angry at them. That's your fault. Right? It's so
Never do that.
the one thing to be aware of that is the eyebrows are always up, because this is your way of saying, I should have told you you know, this, so when the eyebrows stay up, it doesn't show the anger. Does that make sense? So if you're going to practice in front of the mirror, which I totally recommend, is that you can say a lot just with the eyebrows up. It just depends on the tilt of the head or the softness of the eyebrows. Okay? That little smile, or, do you see what I'm doing? So, but it should never be this, because that's exactly, it's going to come across as anger. All right?
It's not angry.
No, sad. Really sad. So I know, having the arranger in the house, no, I don't mean my house, I mean your house. The house. Greg Graham's in the house. Yeah, that he'll work this musically with you on Saturday and do a lot more with it. That the beauty that's in the song, it just, you know, if melody driven or
Yeah, I mean, it's really lyric melody.
lyric melody, which means the beauty of the music is going to tell the story as well as the words. And he'll probably work a lot of that. And he knows, I taught him everything there is to know about the 5 questions, so he'll know that.
You
How
keep
many
saying
tickets am I
you've
going to
got
have to
something
buy
there.
for Friday night?
What's that?
How many tickets? I want to buy 30 tickets for Friday night.
To see La La Land.
Yeah, it should be a chorus event, right?
Who's Lolly? Lally? Who's music? Thank you. Is it Lolly? Lally? All right, let's,
So then right after that, we need to come forward with it. So what's going to be the appropriate time frame for that? When they're applauding?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just time it. So the idea is to be mindful of your audience. You're going to instruct your audience when to stop clapping. Do you know that you do that on movement? All right.
So we want to milk it.
So allow them to give you at least 3 seconds of "we love you," and then move. All right. And so you time it. That would distract your performers. Yeah, totally. So they need you wherever you are. Now I want you to take a look at where you're standing. Even in your groups, are you back into a little bit of a chorus formation? All right. So let me help you with that. When you're on the risers, or I like to think of this as our stage, whether you're on the floor or you're on that top stage, you're allowed to move. You're allowed to change your stance anytime. Okay, nobody says you have to stand like this. Nobody. So the idea is if you're in a clump, come on over here. So if you're in a clump of 3 or 5, it's quite appropriate to change stance a lot, to talk from one person to the other. Because if it was natural, and would you not move a lot more than you are? Okay? So if you stop, that's right, you can move up and down on the risers when the speakers are out here, when the principal players are out here, and you're reacting, you would want to react as natural as possible, okay? So we would do things like, listening and moving. So feel free to do that. When you start to sing, and this, I believe, is the only song that I would have you stay where you started. So if you start in this stance, I would say stay in that stance. We typically, as barbershop singers, when we get on the risers, we aren't comfortable with moving on these things. So what do? We plant our feet. We plant and we go, I can't move unless I have to. Well, if you got a little bit used to just, pivoting on your toes, you could change your stance quite a bit. And we're not asking you to pick up your feet or even try to move or for movement's sake. It's just this. Does that make sense? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, see how easy that is?
But also, she just did this direction too.
Yeah. So, just play. This is a safe place where you can get to play with your feet. Yeah.
It's a play with my
But you get to move and see, and I'll tell you what, if I see anything that's totally off, and if I come up to you and I'll tell you, trust me, I have yet to tell anybody that you're over the top.
How about between songs when the MCs are?
That's exactly what we're talking about, a lot more movement in there.
won't distract from the MC with.
No.
As long as you're playing.
No, they'll be fine. The giggles are fine, the clapping is fine. Yeah. It makes it more real. It's more like a play. Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Have them practice.
Sure. Why don't you just move amongst yourselves?
So I think we're going to do this. We're going to take this on here. Right. I wonder what everything is. Yeah, that's why I All right, we're back.
Line change.
We just had to change her line to set up the song and then to come out of it, so she's got a couple.
I'm going to give you another chance to perform The Summer When We Were Young. And I'm just going to change something.
So right now, you see how it looks like it's a line? One goes
Bill?
behind, yeah.
In the telephone, are we supposed to point out
Shoulder,
like we did before?
and
For the
Hello.
so you
choreography?
right there.
Hello.
See how you two.
You guys maybe not.
Feel
Might be
free
better if
at
they do.
And we don't know if that's going to be something.
We don't know if we're gonna keep it in.
Yeah, that's it.
Karen, that's exactly right. You just lean in, you know, this is in between songs, right? I don't want you singing like
Figure
that.
these details out. We got a couple months here. We do
No,
wanna
but you
get
could
it
do
as
this.
tight as we can, so we can
You
start.
could do this instead of singing where you are right here. You could sing like this. See the stance?
thing is, clock kids.
Yeah.
Just work
Versus
yourself
seeing
away.
this. Change that.
We do this all the time. in the
Yeah, change the whole body.
Coach does this all the time. He says, you guys are standing in lines. We're back and we gravitate back to what we know. And all of a sudden we look down and we go, oh, we're in a perfect line,
Yeah,
aren't we?
okay.
So then we have to change our body and move back, move forward, up, down. If you find yourself in a spot where you're in trouble, just gravitate away and interact with somebody and get into a new spot. That's what we have to do all the time. Because very naturally you will go like this. It'll come into, all of a sudden you'll be a chorus. That's what we want to avoid if we can.
Yeah, for sure.
Maitre D' doesn't speak.
Yeah, you're not going to be fourth wall. So you're not gonna-
Yeah, this is totally fourth wall. This
You
means
guys know what that means, fourth wall? She'll explain.
fourth wall. This is the concept is a fourth wall performance, which means that when you're in theater, you have first wall, the back wall, the stage left wall, and then you have an imaginary fourth wall that is in front of the stage. Sometimes, when you're watching a play, most of the time you are watching a fourth wall performance, which means they are behind the glass and you are watching this happening and unfolding. And sometimes performers will break fourth wall. So if their character was sitting here and he was, talking amongst the ladies here, and all of a sudden he went la da 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 da, and he would come back into the performance, he just broke fourth wall. So he addressed the audience. You're not addressing the audience at all. You're at a reunion. The audience is watching you at the reunion. Does that make sense? So technically, the fourth wall is up. So he should never ever accept the applause from the audience. You hear it, but you don't acknowledge it. Does that make sense? That's why we're going to do all this interaction. So it looks like and feels like they're just watching you.
And so we've got don't ever go.
No, you never do that.
You never go from where you're standing over.
No, this is totally new for most of us. Yeah? But it's going to be, I think, a little less pressure, more fun, and we're not worried about so much.
We just, Syndicate just did a fourth wall performance for our contest, and it was really fun. We had a good time, and some of the guys said, that's the least pressure I've ever felt on a contest stage, you know, because it was, we were just doing a play. And we practiced our part so many times that when we got onto a contest stage, we were like, no, I'll just do my part. And I just did my part. And it worked out really well. She coached us. She was good.
I think I wrote it.
You did. Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
So just be mindful that we're not to, watch the audience. Our focus or focal points are not to the audience. They're either to the people that are talking, and yes, you will be looking at them. Even though they're standing this way, it's like, they have to do their job, unfortunately, because that's what they're being judged on. But trust me when I say, it still gives the appearance of fourth wall. All right? So when they're up here, this is where your focus is. All right? Well, they can, yeah, but what I'm saying is don't go to the audience. That's what I'm saying.
Don't go any further than here.
Correct.
To your club.
Correct.
So when I'm going to understand, when we finish a song,
Mm-hmm.
I can just go back to my club. I
Yeah.
don't have to wait to say, thank
Right.
you very much.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So it's just like they're not there.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
Cool.
Marcia and I went to a class last weekend, and he demonstrated that.
Who taught you that? Who taught
Who
that?
was it? Deke? No, it wasn't Deke.
What are you getting at? I'm not,
The guy said, what's that?
yeah,
Oh, that's Deke.
What does that mean?
But,
I was teaching.
As barber shoppers, we always go, what does that mean?
It's over.
Just go
We're
back to
done.
your club.
I'm done.
Deke's great at pointing out what's wrong. Now fix it, Deke.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is just go right back to your clump, don't acknowledge that.
Right.
Don't.
This is a whole new
Nothing
concept,
else.
ladies, and this doesn't, this is, again, this is getting into the theater world. This is, unless you do it, it's going to take a while, but trust me when I tell you that once you do get it and it goes, oh yeah, then you'll have more fun on the stage. And that's what this is all about, is having fun. So, yes, question?
So when we're doing Hello My Baby, that hello, hello, we should be doing hello to our...
Well, I'm going to work on that.
Oh.
Remember I said I was going to
Yeah.
simplify it for us?
Oh.
Now, that is going to be an exception to the rule.
Okay.
And your name's Tracy, is it? Terry? Terry. Good question. It's an exception to the rule. If you're going to add movements and gestures, and this is going to be your contest, set, yeah? Then where's your focus when you are performing? On the director. So, well, yeah, you're going to be directing it. So your focus has always been on your director when you sing, yes? Unless it says, look out to the audience.
When I walked off, then are they talking directly to the audience?
Maybe. If you walk off. You may not. Yeah. So the walk-off, I am assuming, was to feature the front row, yes?
It was.
Well, there's no front row.
There was the feature, the chorus singing on their own.
Ah, yeah. We're probably not going to do that this time. All right? So I would like to run that,
Sorry?
yeah, please.
Okay.
One more time, but I want to watch you interact and that sort of thing, and then,
Oh, starting from back there.
yeah,
What's the lines before?
Lines before summer.
because we have a change in the line.
How to say them.
Yeah. So remember, action, reaction, action, reaction. And you clumps, good work over there in the corner. Yes, that's great.
Table, get a little closer. Come on. I mean, really, you have your drink.
Remember the classes we had to go to on how to dress, what words we could say, and even how to say them? But the best part of the job was listening in on all those conversations. There was one call I could hardly tear myself away from.